Leaving home, what now? Leaving one's home can have many reasons. It may be that people no longer feel safe in their country because there's war there. They're being followed or just hope for another life. I am from Morocco. I lived alone. I grew up in a shelter. There was actually a lot of violence, so I came to Europe. My country is Libya. I came here, I have many problems with politics and the police and with my home. I had no money. There are many problems with my family. I left Libya because I have many problems. I came here to continue my life.
J'ai quitté Libye parce que beaucoup de problèmes. Je venais ici pour terminer ma vie.
I'm Amin from Syria. I came to Germany so I could live here because there's war in my country that has ruined everything. I want to learn here and I want to build up my life in Germany. What happens if you come to Germany for these or similar reasons? What rights do you have? Seeking asylum, how does it work? Asylum means you get help and protection in another country. In Greek, asylum means accommodation. When you arrive in another country, you must ask for asylum either at the border or at an office such as the police. You then come to a so-called initial recording facility where you can stay for some time. There are many people in this house seeking asylum. And then what? Now you have to submit an application for asylum, which is only possible within a certain office, the Federal Office for Migration and Refugees, BAMF for short. In all initial reception facilities, there is an office of the BAMF. This can only happen personally, and you must be at least 18 years old. For children and adolescents, parents apply. This is where your personal data will be collected. Everyone is only allowed to seek accommodation once in an EU country. In special cases, you can contact the local refugee advisory services. You will then be noted as an asylum seeker with a proof of arrival and will receive a residence permit after the application. It usually takes many months for the BAMF to notify a decision on the application. You can stay in Germany during this time, but you also have to come to a personal conversation. The BAMF tries to get an idea of the reasons for your escape and the circumstances. 3 months after the application, you can apply for a work permit at the immigration office. However, the right to work is restricted for 15 months. This work permit is not possible for people who come from so-called safe countries of origin. People with a toleration also have the right to work. A toleration is when a person does not receive a residence permit but cannot be expelled because they do not have a passport or there is no flight connection to a civil war region. The decision. The BAMF can make different decisions. It can agree to your request of asylum, recognize you as a refugee, or reject your request of asylum. If you get refused, you must leave Germany within 1 month. However, you can have this decision checked by the BAMF or in court. You have the right to an attorney. Before it comes to an approval or recognition as a refugee, the BAMF checks which of the 4 forms of protection occurs. But what exactly is that? The right to asylum is granted to politically persecuted persons who are persecuted by state or state-like persons. Since 1993, persons who have entered from safe third countries have no longer been able to invoke this article. This includes the member states of the EU. In principle, only people who come to Germany by sea or air have the opportunity to obtain the right to asylum. All persons entitled to asylum are also recognized as refugees and therefore have the same rights. Recognition as a refugee is based on the Geneva Refugee Convention. Thus, entry through a safe third country does not lead to exclusion from the refugee status. The persecution can also come from non-governmental people, such as clans or terrorist groups, if the state you come from does not offer you protection. The prerequisite for recognition is that you are persecuted on the basis of an innate trait or characteristic trait. Refugee recognition is excluded if there are safe regions in the country of origin. Those who are recognized receive a residence permit for 3 years and a travel document for refugees. Family reunification is possible under facilitated conditions. Subsidiary protection is granted when the person in its country of origin is threatened with a death penalty, torture, inhuman treatment, or punishment. These dangers need not to be linked to specific characteristic. Subsidiary beneficiaries receive a residence permit for 1 year, which can then be extended. After 5 years, they may, under certain conditions, obtain an indefinite permit. Family reunification is rather difficult with this form of protection. In the absence of one or more conditions for asylum, refugee protection, or subsidiary protection, a ban on deportation can be established. This happens when a deportation would result in a violation of human rights or there is a concrete danger for life, womb, or freedom. For example, in the case of a serious disease which would deteriorate significantly in the country of origin because of the lack of treatments. A move within Germany is often not possible for the persons. There are also special hurdles for family reunification. And who is going to help me? You can find help and advice at the refugee and asylum counseling centers. They support you with questions about asylum procedures, family reunification, handling officers, benefits, school and work. The consultation is confidential and free of charge. A list can be found on the website of Pro Asyl. The escape story can be processed in preparation for the conversation at the BAMF. Forwarding to specific counseling centers dealing with torture, persecution, trauma and displacement can also be supported. You can find help with discrimination at the Anti-Discrimination Office.